Okay, so today we are looking at arithmetic sequences, and then this time we're looking at the explicit form. So remember yesterday we looked at the recursive form, and today we're looking at explicit. So explicit has this formula, which is just an, so that's what we're looking for, equals a1, just remember this is our first term. And then D is going to be our common difference, which it says right here. D is the common difference between the sequence terms. And then times n minus 1. Okay? So we will be able to write an explicit equation given a sequence in a table, a list, or picture form. Alright? So let's practice this. So we are writing the explicit rule for the following, and we have to find the 10th term. Alright, so let's just start by writing this equation. So remember it is an equals a1 plus d times n minus 1. And we need to identify what our a1 is and what our d is so that we can plug it into this formula. a1 is just our first term, so whenever x is 1, that's your a1. So this would just be 23. And then our common difference we find by looking at what is the change. So from 23 to 20, we're subtracting 3. From 20 to 17, we're subtracting 3. And 17 to 14, we are subtracting 3. So D is negative 3. So then when I plug it into my formula, an equals 23 minus 3 n minus 1. I could have written plus minus 3, but I think that gets a little confusing, so I'm just going to write minus 3 because my common difference is subtracting 3, so there's no need to put plus minus. Okay, but if you want to, you totally can. So then I need to solve for the 10th term. So what I would do is a10 equals 23 minus 3, and then this time my n is 10. So I would just do 10 minus 1. And then I would type that whole thing into the calculator, just as you see it. So 23 minus 3, open your parentheses, 10 minus 1, close your parentheses, press enter, and a10 equals negative 4. Okay? And that's all you have to do. Alright, if we look at example 2, I'm going to go ahead and just count these and label them at the bottom so that I kind of have a pseudo table. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, so that's 5. This one has 9. And then this one has 13. Okay, so now it's kind of easier to see like what's my change. So remember, I'm writing it in the formula, so I'm just going to start with my formula so that I know exactly what I need to plug in. I need to find my a1, which is just my first thing, so it's going to be 5. And then my common difference, that's what I need to find. So from 5 to 9, I'm adding 4. From 9 to 13, I'm adding 4. So my common difference is 4. So all I'm going to do now is plug this in. So an equals 5 plus 4 n minus 1. Okay? So once again, all I did is I just identified what is my a1. My a1 is my first term, so it's this 5. Then I found my common difference, so I'm just looking, what am I doing from here to here? I'm adding 4. What am I doing from here to here? I'm adding 4. So that's my common difference, and then I just plugged everything into my equation. Okay? And then we cannot forget that we have to find our a10. So a10 equals 5 plus 4, and then I'm going to plug in 10 for n, and then subtract 1. I'm going to type this into my calculator just as I see it. So 5 plus 4, parentheses, 10 minus 1, close parentheses. So A10 equals 41. Okay, and we just have one more that we're going to look at, which is question 3. So remember, your formula is AN equals A1 plus D times N minus 1. I need to identify my A1 and my D. I'm going to give you like a minute-ish, and I want you to see what is your A1, what is your common difference. For the common difference, remember, you're just looking, what is the change? What am I adding? What am I subtracting? It's different each time. So I'm going to give you a minute. I want you to think about it. Okay, so hopefully you've started. If you're confused, I want you to write down your questions so that you can ask me when I'm back. So A1, remember, it's just your first term, so it's 5. And then your common difference is 3 because we're adding 3 each time. Then all you have to do is plug it into the equation. So AN equals 5 plus 3 N minus 1. And then, are we done? Hopefully you answered no. So we have to find A10. Okay, so I would do 5 plus 3, 10 minus 1. Type this into my calculator. So A10 equals 32. Alright, so now what you need to do for the rest of class is you are going to complete page 22. You are going to complete page 23. If you finish all of that, because there's only 7 problems, then you can get started on your review, which is page 24, 25, 26, and 27. Okay? So if you have completed all of the homework, or classwork, which is page 22 through 23, then I need you to start working on your test review because your test is on Tuesday. I will be back Monday and I can answer all your questions that you have over arithmetic sequences. You know how to behave. You need to behave if your name gets left or written down. Remember, it's an automatic referral, but I really think that you guys will be fine. When you are working, you need to be fairly quiet. We should not be talking nonstop, okay? All right.